Good afternoon, guys. Vino here. It is Friday, February 13th, 2026. Just finished up my day, almost 6 o'clock right now, 6 p.m. in the afternoon. Just want to share a little kind of self treating myself kind of situation for this fine Friday evening. I had ordered a sort of a retro. Well, I mean, it's considered retro at this point. But yeah, I bought myself a little retro game from eBay in the last week or so. I used to play the handheld consoles. So I guess play on the handheld consoles back in the day. My dad, he bought me a Game Boy Advance SP as my very first handheld gaming console in the early 2000s, like I guess 2004, probably closer to 2005, 6 in that area. But then as I got a little bit older in my teens, my dad traded in my Game Boy for a PSP, PlayStation Portable. It was the PSP 1000 series, and I still have my original one, so I want to show you guys this. So this is my original PSP from when I was young. Somehow I have dropped this once, but it's still working. And I have two of my game cartridges for that console still. I've got a racing game called Ridge Racer, which is a really fun car racing game that I played like many hours of when I was younger. But the second game I used to have on the PSP, which I still have now, is GTA Vice Cities, and I think that was my very first Grand Theft Auto game, and even on a handheld, it was really fun. I played like 2 3 rounds of that campaign, made a lot of money within the game, so it was really interesting at that time. But the one game that I remember growing up and I couldn't, not that we couldn't afford it, but I think the time changed really fast and I was focused on other things by that point. I think I had gotten like an Xbox, like a OG, like the big fat Xbox gaming console. So I started entering like the full size gaming console world, and I never really like continued much with the handhelds after that. But I remember so badly wanting the God of War games on the PSP, and we just never got it. Or like my dad couldn't get it from me, or he didn't want to get it from me. Maybe trying to control my gaming back then too. But yeah, I found it on eBay. It was about 26 sorry, $28, I guess, and the guy had free shipping, so I was like, okay, decent seller on eBay. So I'm gonna test out that cartridge. That's gonna be my little fun time. But yeah, I even like ended up repurchasing a Game Boy Advance SP. I think about 4 or 5 years back, maybe before COVID times, or probably right before I moved to this house from like my apartment back in Scarborough, like in like east end of Toronto. But yeah, I have the Game Boy still, and that has like a couple of my original cartridges. So I never lost those cartridges, but I have started kind of like reclaiming my childhood in a sense. And there's something about these handheld consoles, whether it be my Game Boy Advance SP or like this PlayStation Portable, this PSP. Still, when I pick up these handhelds, the minute I like hear their booting sound, like yeah, I'll try to see if I can do it now. Let me see if this works. Oh, no, it's not making the sound now. Okay, anyway, probably because I put a new memory card in this thing, so that's probably why. But yeah, I'm gonna test out the game cartridge for this. But yeah, it's like unbelievably fun. No matter what kind of like retro games that I pick up right now, I used to consider retro games as like something from the 80s or the 90s, but now that we're in 2026, the games that I used to play on like these handheld consoles is now definitely considered retro, and that boggles my mind. Like for me, 20 years ago, I'm sure for a lot of people who are like my age, who are millennials, anytime we think 20 years ago, we think of the 80s or the 90s, but realistically, it's like the 2000s, if not the 2010s, almost, depending on when these younger kids were born now. But I'm really like, as I said, I'm reclaiming my childhood little by little. I didn't completely lose it. I've got bits and pieces here. I even have my like OG fat Xbox somewhere in storage, and I'm sure I also still have my PS3 and my PS4 all in storage since I converted to a PC gamer as I grew older. But I'm really excited to try out this God of War. I believe it's called God of War Chains of Olympus. Yes. So this was the first God of War game, I believe, on the PSP, and then there's another sequel or something I believe called Ghost of Sparta. But I've never played any of the God of War games. I'm not really interested in like a modded PSP or anything like that. So I'm excited to play this game, make sure the cartridge works so that I can leave a good eBay review for the seller. But I'm also sorry, I already bought a 16 gigabit memory card from Amazon. So I went from like a 512 megabyte or megabit, whatever the storage SD card for my original SD card that came with the PSP. Now I've upgraded to a 16 gig. So I'm able to play more games, have the bigger storage data on the handheld console, and I'm not going to buy too many cartridges because, again, because I played more Game Boy Advance SP games than the PSP games back in the day. I'm trying to be careful on what I pick and choose and purchase. Ridge Racer and GTA Vice City, they were like one of the best games, and they're still popular to this day. They're like in the top 10, top 20 like historical games, along with God of War. So that's why I chose God of War. I knew what it was. I think I'll have fun with this. Not every like PSP game is my taste and my interest, but I think it's worth diving back into this retro world of gaming, and I'm going to try to step away from the PC. As I said, I may try to reduce my screen time, but in terms of the gaming purposes, I kind of want to go back. I want to go back to a simpler time where it's you play one game at a time. It's a cartridge, it's a handheld, and I want to just have fun in that way. Back when games were difficult and there was no like, unlimited lives, or just like Call of Duty, shoot and do whatever you want. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to get back into this part of my retro gaming world from my kid days, in a sense. But yeah, again, TGIF. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I hope everybody has a good rest of their Friday, and enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.